whenever I interview people like practitioners in the MLOps space, and I ask them like how they think about choosing tools, it's pretty clear if they don't know Kubernetes or they don't have Kubernetes expertise in house, just forget about it, right? Like, don't even get started with that. And so it feels like there's just like so many tools. It's just like a thriving ecosystem that they're just kind of like leaving on the table, and perhaps for good reason, right? Perhaps like the learning curve is too high. I myself haven't had much experience with Kubernetes, but what you're building seems to be addressing that problem at the core. So, what are you working on?
Yeah. I think like a lot of the initial like hesitation around Kubernetes would be like if you had to set up Kubernetes from scratch, then yeah, it's like a huge headache, and like I can definitely understand that. But like especially within the last like several years, there's a managed Kubernetes like that every major cloud provider has, and even a decent amount of like bare metal or like like specialized cloud providers have managed Kubernetes. So like you don't have to, and it's basically like free. Like they don't like really even charge anything. They can like if you, for example, are using like DigitalOcean, like adding additional nodes to your like Kubernetes pool costs just as much as like just getting a droplet, which is like their version of EC2. Um, so like yeah, I think that maybe like when I talk to people like the first thing that I try to understand is like, well, what do they even know? Do they immediately hear it's complex and then just immediately put on the blinders and then just be like, okay, I will never revisit that ever.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think like the better way that I think like I've never really had anybody that has answered that question that's like, I don't want to use Kubernetes because of this specific thing, and they showed that like they've actually like have an understanding of a landscape.
Mm.
So like maybe that's just kind of like the I don't know if you've ever read Thinking Fast and Slow, but like people like will get this like impression, and then they'll just like use that to like filter everything out instead of stepping back and being like, well, why exactly do I not want to use this, or like what would be the benefits of using something like this?
Yeah, yeah.